Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Yes. We're going to open the meeting of the Prince Edward County School Board.
I'm going to do a roll call vote that certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed session were heard, discussed, and considered during the closed session. Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mrs. Stiff?
Yes.
Dr. Ariady?
Yes.
Mrs. Kimbrough?
Yes.
Mrs. Carson?
Yes.
Dr. Corbett?
Yes.
Mr. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
So we are officially out of closed session. With that, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? And we'll go to number 9, awards, recognitions, commendations, introductions, etc.
Okay, and Ms. Eames Walton, I'll give the floor to you.
Okay. Well, on behalf of Prince Edward County Public Schools and Dr. Cox and the school board, we would like to recognize our Teachers of the Year for each school, and then also our Division Teacher of the Year. So I want to start with Ms. Tony Baker. She's been awarded the Teacher of the Year for the elementary school. Congratulations. Oh, shoot. Dr. Cox, would you like to come up? Yes, you should. We'll get you further up.
Lucy.
Do you want any of the PECPS committee members too, or no?
We're gonna do individually, then we do all.
Okay.
Okay. We can do all then, she wants to do it.
We should go. Ready to go? All right. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Don't sit down yet. We have a few more. Then we have Mr. Lewis Gould for the middle school. He was recognized Teacher of the Year for the middle school.
Yeah, there you go. Like that.
Mr. Gould always told me.
1, 2, 2, 3. Gotcha.
Thank you. And then at the high school, we had a tie. We had Mr. Bourne and also Miss Eileen Ryan from the high school.
You know, yeah, do the flags.
Put it behind.
There you go. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay. And after we had school divisions, schools Teacher of the Year, we had a panel to actually look at some essays, and we have a division Teacher of the Year who actually submitted her application in a timely fashion for the state of the for the Region 8 Division of the Year as well, Miss Eileen Ryan.
Last one.
Okay.
I'm not promising anything.
We
Say
do
last
have
one.
more.
1, 2, 3. Gotcha.
And on behalf of that, we have representatives from Pepsi, and I'm going to let Ms. Rice and Ms. Pippin please introduce themselves. They have decided to present a gift to our Division Teachers of the Year as well. So.
Good evening.
We are the school representation for on the PEPCS committee, and that is a grant program that's available for the instructors in our division. It's a very short form that they can fill out to apply to receive monies, so that they can get the things that we wouldn't normally have available in our budget, like 3D printers, isn't that what? And some different things that other teachers have gotten. We've gotten all kinds of stuff, kits to show pollution at the elementary school. We've gotten equipment for an aqua garden for out at the middle school before. So Ms. Rice and I have recommitted ourselves to moving forward with the instructors in the district to try to help encourage them to apply, to give them some assistance and support to apply. So we were able to get the monetary rewards for our members this afternoon. Luckily, the treasurer of the committee was very accommodating. So if Miss Tony Baker. Oh, there you are. All right. And I didn't know we had a tie, so that is on me. So Mr. Bourne's check will be forthcoming. And we've got Miss Eileen. Yes.
I just took an action.
All right, I'm gonna gather you all.
Yes,
Yeah, Berkeley's up.
Berkeley's out there. Will you get him out?
Yeah. Oh.
Or we can go in the hall,
There he
that would
is.
be helpful.
You want me to come in on this?
Yes.
Berkeley letter is also part of the PEPC.
All right, we're taking,
I didn't see you out there. I'm sorry.
I was hiding.
we're taking a picture, they want you to get into the picture. Can we do 2 lines and not so much of a soccer pose? Thank you. Thank you so much. That's better, y'all, like you know each other, I like that much better. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, gotcha.
Thank you. Y'all have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to, B.
I know.
Go ahead. Spelling bee winners.
So we have Ms. Garrett. I saw her right in the hall.
Sorry, it's crowded.
Hey, Ms. Garrett.
Hello, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the school board, Dr. Cox. I'm here today, we're going to present the winners of our district spelling bee, and I'm actually going to introduce you to Ms. Beath, who is our gifted teacher for the division, so that she can introduce you to her students.
Hi. Thank you all for this opportunity. We had a fun time and a little bit nervous time, but our first place winner, his winning word was actually anecdote, which I think is a challenging word because you can get that mixed up with antidote. And he is a 5th grader. And then our second place winner was a 7th grader, and his name is Albert Bryant. They couldn't be here this evening. And then our third place winner is Cooper Leonard in the 4th grade. And Ezekiel will advance on February 27th to the Torque Club at Richmond Raceway for the Richmond Regional Bee. So thank you all.
So we have
present the certificates.
We have certificates for you all, so I'm going to go with Cooper. Cooper? Here you go. Sorry. Here for a second, Cooper. You did a very good job.
Can you please get in?
There we go. Is that better?
That's much better. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Hi, Cooper. How are you? There we go.
All right, and we have Ezekiel.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Okay, move on to C. DSBA, School Board Clerk, Deputy Clerk Appreciation Week, February the 17th through the 21st. On behalf of Ms. Powell, and Ms. Jones, on behalf of the Prince Edward County Public Schools, we appreciate everything you do for us. We're calling to you and running to you for help. Please be patient with us and know that we are so appreciative of all you do to make the school run smoothly and have all the answers when we come. That's really nice. That's really good. We'll get you a little surprise on the later meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keeping us in line.
And the last one is the Board Appreciation Month. In case you didn't know, board members, this is School Board Appreciation Month. So we'll be appreciated all through the month. Again, at a little later time, but we'll make up for it. Okay, but thank you, board members, we really appreciate it, everything you do.
Okay, before you move on.
Ms. Jones, do you wanna talk about any of this real quick?
Well, I can tell you really quick. So, in honor of School Board Appreciation Month, all schools submitted nice little handmade cards for you. So the one you have with your name was made by our career exploration class at the middle school. The artwork is from the elementary school, and the high school also has something for you as well. So, and this right here is from Ms. Calhoun's pre-K class, and you're invited to take a heart off of it because you are part of their family. And on the back side, it even says we're all family with all their little handprints. So just to show how much you appreciate Prince Edward, this is what this will be.
Okay. Thank you.
And she thought she was finished,
Yeah.
but she's not. Cause you know what? She signed on for another year.
Doing this.
Talking about Miss Lucy Carson. This is School Board Appreciation Month, true. And we truly appreciate Lucy for all she has done for this board and this county and this community these past, especially 6 or 7 months. But each time that she has been on the board, she has been a trooper with impeccable integrity, credibility, and just awesomeness. So we want to say happy school board member, chair, and all the other titles we could hang along the way to you. Please come up and get your appreciation.
And if any board member wants to chime in, you're welcome.
I would like to add that Lucy is the chair for the southern region.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. See,
Come up here.
it's
Yes,
good.
ma'am. Let's take a picture.
Yeah.
Kids come up, you gotta come up too.
Yeah, you're telling you have to come take a picture with her. Come on now.
Anybody else wanna come up?
Please come on up.
Let's
School
get a
board
board pic.
appreciation.
Yeah, feel appreciated. Come on.
Come on, let's get a board pic, everybody. Come on.
We got 1 minute before public.
I know, I'm trying. All the good stuff is happening today.
Susan, you stand next to me in the back.
Yep.
We got our
Here in the front.
we got our sign
Signed up.
I'm the short people.
Oh, we got it. Oh, look, y'all done this before. I like it. All right, 1, 2, look at me. Here we go. We're gonna do it again. Do it again, and one more time, and don't look down, and there we go. Thank you.
Thank you. I got an art to that. I'm sit it right over here. And don't forget it.
Thank you.
Just stand. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Can't do this without you, that's
If I could say something just to piggyback what Ms. Stiff mentioned, is the leadership role of being chair for our board team, eight members, along with the superintendent. That's to be commended, and all the leadership roles that you represent us at the state level, at the Region 8 level. You will be commended. We thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all for thinking of me. I really appreciate it. I know I say stuff like, oh, this is horrible, I'm tired, I don't want to do it, but you know, that's just my way of coping with the things that have to be done. So, all right, we're ready. Thank you so much, board. Thank you for all your hard work. Every time I call on somebody to do this, okay, can you do this? Ms. Stipp, can you do this? Ms. Kimbrough, I need this. It's done. It's done. Mr. Hackett, same way. Mr. Farley, call me back. I appreciate this, what you do to make the school board what it is. Thank you. All right, we're going to public participation. We have two people who have signed up. Where's my little speech?
Oh, you're not on, go to public participation. No, I'm not here.
See, y'all made me forget. There it is, okay. These are guidelines for public comment. The purpose of the public comment portion of the meeting is to direct comments to the board and/or provide information. The board listens to each comment and does not engage in dialogue with the speaker. Comments should be respectful and demonstrate consideration for others by not referring to any specific person or personal incident. When the speaker's allotted time expires, the board chair will give a signal, and the speaker should conclude his or her comments. Each participant has up to 5 minutes to speak. The superintendent will provide the speaker with a follow-up response on behalf of the board. Thank you in advance for following this procedure. Your cooperation ensures individuals can share their comments while also allowing for a timely completion of the board's agenda. I have Everett Jones. Please give your, say your name and give us your address, please.
My name is Everett Jones. My address is 2505 Horseshoe Bend Road, Keysville, Virginia.
Okay.
And I'm, excuse me, anyway, congratulations on School Board Appreciation Month. You know, we appreciate what you've done and what you do. Unfortunately, I'm here today as a very concerned grandfather. One of my grandchildren was before the disciplinary board. I was very disappointed for multiple reasons, which I'll get into, but first is his ethnicity was referred to 3 times in the hearing. Now, I'm not calling names because that's not allowed. Well, let me back up. My family is multi-ethnic, multicultural. My grandson's father is a naturalized citizen from Brazil. He is very dark complected. My grandchildren range from Nordic white to medium brown. Somewhat don't understand why his ethnicity needs to be brought up. In our family, skin tone, as I said, we range from pale to medium brown. The only reason we refer to skin tone is like hair color. How do you identify somebody? Well, she's blonde, he's redheaded, he's darker complected, or he's pale. You know, we have never, in multiple generations of our family, had those conversations. And there are a bunch of words that my children had never heard until they came to Prince Edward Schools. And they come home with them, and we tell them, no, we don't use those words. Well, so my 12-year-old grandson, 2 weeks ago, And we tie knots because we have sailboats.
Hold on, sir. You need to, if you would like to appeal what decision the committee came up for your child.
No, we do not.
Okay, well, then he can't go and
We do not. I'm through with talking about the committee. I want to talk about my grandson.
not what he did. We can't talk about what he
Can't
did.
talk about what he did, we can't,
That's private.
that's private, and we have a special meeting with you.
And I can't make it public? I will be making it public. If I can't address it to y'all, it will be much more public than this. And I don't want to do that. I want to make y'all aware.
So just make us aware. But I
Okay.
don't want to,
Okay, no details then.
no.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, we received a call that he had been accused of a hate crime. And we looked up the specific hate crime, and if I didn't hate air quotes, I'd put that in quotes. And both federal law and NAACP regulations say the crime with intent to intimidate. This boy had absolutely no intent. He's one of the sweetest, gentlest young men that you will ever meet. He learned how to do something he thought was neat, had no idea it would offend anyone. There was no hate involved. He doesn't know how to hate anybody except his brother on occasion. And so promptly he was expelled for 10 days or suspended for 10 days. This is before an investigation. This is before, why would you not discover intent? If I'm arrested for a crime, the first thing the police do is look for intent. This same sweet child has been called multiple slurs at school, and my daughter has gone to school. He's regularly called a faggot, which we find very offensive, and that's another word he hadn't heard till he started school. And we've asked to have it addressed, and nothing has happened. And I'm not here to try to cause trouble. I'm a very concerned grandfather because I have seen these things. One incident changes the tone, and one very much like this changed his mother's school career because the students, when there's an incident.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir, your time is up.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. I'll be
Thank
back
you.
next week. I'll be next month.
Thank you.
All right. We also
Wait a
have,
minute, don't I have a minute for the time she took discussing my,
I need for you to, look at the proper channel, and this is not the proper channel for that discussion. You can appeal it, and at that point, you can talk to the committee about it and see. You can talk to the board.
School board.
Yeah, you can appeal it, and you can speak
whether
in front of the board
we do
in
not want to
closed
appeal
session.
it. We
We would like,
want y'all to be aware that taking a child out of school for 10 days for an offense that didn't hurt anyone and had no intent is like closing the schools 50 years ago. They took education as punishment. And that's doing the same thing, to take a child to education for punishment.
You can request
Submit
a
it
special
right.
meeting with us
Yeah,
at
we-
the beginning
at
of
the
next
beginning of
month.
the
And
next
we will,
meeting.
Submit them right.
you can set a meeting with the school
Yeah, no,
board
that's fine.
and just talk to us.
and we can just
And we
talk.
can talk about what happened,
Okay.
the whole thing.
Okay, all right.
You can do that.
Mr. Good will tell you how to do it.
I will have
All right.
Mr. Good give you a call tomorrow
That would be great.
and
Thank you
tell
very
you
much.
what the process is, what the steps are, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening to me. And again, we do appreciate what you do. We just didn't like this particular incident.
Okay, I have, C. Emmett.
Yes, my name is Cindy Emmerich, and I live at 925 Oliver Road.
Okay,
I'm coming before you to ask that my student, Jacob Ryan Jackson, I withdrew him from the school, not on a religious exemption. I just chose to homeschool him this semester. However, the class that he wants to be in is Auto Tech 1, which we went through Mrs. Weems, and she talked to Mr. Weaver. The class was not full at the time, so it's not that he's taking anyone's seat that wants to be in the class. I don't know how to teach auto tech. I'm sorry, I'm not a mechanic. I can change the oil, see if it needs oil, put a little windshield washer fluid in it or something of that nature. But that's a hands-on class that he needs to be on campus for. He doesn't eat meals here. He doesn't ride the school bus. He doesn't ask to participate in any sports, after-school programs or anything. He just wants to attend that one class. I understand that it is some concern as far as funding for him, but I've also read in the Code of Virginia that he can be counted as a half person and you get a prorated amount for him. I drive him to school, so he doesn't use your school bus. I sit right over there in the parking lot, I wait for him, so he walks into the building, into Mr. Weaver's class, shuts the door, does his class, walks back out, gets in my car, and we leave. He's on campus maybe an hour and 15 minutes. It's a case-by-case basis, which I've read that in the law, that's how it goes. You don't have to allow him to take the class, but this is, he thinks this is his career field that he wants to be in. He's only 15, so I don't think that taking him to Southside and putting him in what would be more of a college setting, I don't think that he is socially and mature enough yet to be in a college setting. So I'm just asking that he be allowed to come on campus and take that one class. I don't know, what the process will be, but he's now been out a week, he's been missed 3 weeks already of the class, and he was building a very good rapport with Mr. Weaver, and the 2 weeks that he was in the class before we were told he couldn't do that. So, and like I said, I didn't take him out for religious exemption. I just decided he wanted to try homeschooling, and I told him that we would try it. So that's where we are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Stanley?
Madam Chair, members of the school board, Dr. Cox, thank you for just taking a couple minutes here to give a little bit of update. Thanks to the wonderful group of teachers recognized tonight, especially Ms. Ryan and Mr. Vaughan, two of my son's favorite teachers at the high school. We are truly blessed in having such dedicated and caring teachers in our school system. I'm happy to be here tonight to say we got a clean audit back for FY24. And this is the 5th audit that I've worked on since I've been in Prince Edward, and this was the easiest. Thank you, Ms. Jones, and for all the help getting through the process. We get better at it every year to work together. Got a report here. I'm not going to hit all the items. One thing I want to thank, in the fall of 24, we were able to work to establish some student internships at both the cannery and our animal shelter. The two programs provide an excellent opportunity for students to gain valuable experience in both the culinary arts and animal care while supporting their community. I want to thank Mr. Foster for helping us with that great collaborative effort. I won't go into reassessments. I'm sure you've all got your reassessment notice, but like everybody, I would encourage you, if you have questions, go make an appointment with the Board of Assessors, sit down with the reassessment team and ask questions about pricing. If you look at real estate sales, which I do on a monthly basis, that's driving cost. Our average increase was up 40%. That's actually below some of the other counties around us this past year. But it's part of life. But understand, we have to equalize the tax rate, which means we got to drop the tax rate 40%. Anything above that, we have to advertise as a tax increase. So that's part of the process that we have to go through. One of the big things that we're working through, and we're more than halfway, is the Connects Broadband project. That should be completed by fall of 26. I'm excited because that's bringing high-speed internet access to the children that y'all serve in the community. So, it will allow them to have access to resources at home. to be able to further their education. The last page, there's a couple of things. One, we got a lot of economic development projects right up the street here. The 5 Pillars Meat Project, which should be, I think, complete in March. Wawa, Flagstrop, and Harbor Freight should be completed later this month. I know all the teachers and students are excited about going to get their Wawa sandwich and coffee in the morning, maybe wash the car as well. The last thing is our comprehensive plan is about 75% complete. Actually, I'll take that. The draft is complete. We've still got a couple more pieces of the process, but we're going to be having a couple public forums coming up in early March. I will make sure Dr. Cox has the information so that y'all can attend. Education is a big part of our community, and certainly community facilities are all part and parcel with that. But I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you this evening. I told Dr. Cox, says, give me a call if there's anything I can do to help you out and further the school system. So it's exciting seeing the activity across the parking lot, and hopefully we'll be able to keep that. We've been periodically taking aerial photographs and drone shots and stuff to be able to share with you, and so that Latina can put on Facebook and stuff to keep the public's interest. But thank you again for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving forward now. We're moving to number 11, the consent agenda. Any questions, comments?
I think they're under the financial reports on expenditures. There was a question about one of them that I don't know if we've gotten the answer to yet. If not, can we make a motion to approve all of the financial, everything except that one until we get the answer to that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's up to the board. Mr. Dr. Corbett,
I guess we need to know what that is.
what that is.
It's under, it was an expenditure made, back in, I think it was paid this last month for this month. Anyway, I know that there was a question on the finance committee, at the finance committee meeting about the expenditure that I know, Dr. Arrietty, you did not get an answer, did you?
No.
Okay.
The question is what the expenditure was about, or
Well,
what it was
and
for,
what the
or
documentation for it was,
what documentation
Yes.
was available for that
for
expenditure?
that expenditure, yes.
Is that gonna come back to the board then?
So I'm asking, can we approve all the rest of it except that one? Or is it all or none?
You should be able to approve, go ahead.
I think you can approve it except for one.
Yeah.
But I guess, I still have a question.
Yeah, you still say, go ahead.
Is it gonna come back to the board what the expenditure was and what the question was? I mean, we don't have the board doesn't even know what the question was. The board going to learn what that question was?
Yes.
What it was about? And is it gonna come back to the board? I guess that's what my question.
It should come back.
It should come back to the board.
Yeah, we just need, cause right now there's
I
a
know.
question on,
There's a
there's a question is holding up.
Progress.
Yeah, just,
You might consider it more of a closed session item too.
Well, we could go back into closed session and, at the very end and
is it a closed session?
kind of.
Is it a closed session, qualified as a closed session?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Talk about
Well, then we will
personnel.
bring it back into closed session.
Yes.
And then we can come back and decide about the consent agenda then, okay.
Now, we can vote on the consent agenda.
Well, I won't know what to put down in the minutes if you're not gonna state what it is that you're taken out of there. So it might be something that we need to do after the
Closed
close.
session.
Yes, ma'am.
Closed session.
That way we can kind of state it if it needs to
Okay.
be.
So the,
I would hold the consent agenda.
Until the end,
Closed
okay.
session,
okay,
and then I think you can decide what you wanna do from there.
all right,
Okay.
well, we'll do that. Say that again, so make sure everybody heard that.
So I would hold the consent agenda, I'd go back into closed session to address the specific issue, and then I think the board can decide where to go from there.
Okay.
Sounds good. That would
So
be my
everybody
advice.
will know, so you know,
That would be
okay.
my advice.
I will
And
take
Ms.
your
Jones
advice.
can join us in for that part of the, yeah, okay.
Alright. Alright, well, that means we're moving on to the action items. Approval of additional appropriation, Ms. Jones?
Good evening, Ms. Carson, School Board Chair, Board members, Dr. Cox. This evening, I stand before you seeking approval for appropriations of two grants which Mrs. Garrett brought to you last month in reference to the SIG and the middle, which is the Middle School Improvement Grant, and the Students with Disabilities Grant, which totals $234,704.60.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms.
I'm sorry? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it through there.
Okay, so, have you, I got it.
Any questions?
Do you have any question, anybody have any questions or comments?
She presented for us, I'd like to make a motion that we,
Are there-
approve those funds. Did you present it?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'd like to make a motion that we approve those funds.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Ms. Zip, are you abstaining? Okay.
Long day, isn't it?
Board appreciation month.
I appreciate y'all saying that.
Oh, God.
Thank you all.
Such a wonderful day.
A little punchy today.
Yeah, we are. All right. Thank you. I was trying, I was off the computer and I don't know how to do that. So, but I'm back now, right? Go ahead, Dr.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, next up, under action items is middle school general committee, school board members, and that was a request from the school board at the last meeting.
Yes. So, no, is it okay, Bob?
Yes.
Yes, so I have volunteered alongside our chair, Lucy, to be the board representatives, to be a part of a committee that's being formed by the board to take a look at kind of the naming of the school facility requests that have come in. And so we will be seeking some community support. We've got an idea about some faculty, staff, participants who will be a part of that committee, but specifically the gym floor was brought up and a couple of other requests, but per our policy, we have to arrange a committee of faculty, staff, board members, and community members. And so if you are a community member who's interested in being a part of the committee to help us with the compiling the data and the resources and the information around these individuals we want to name potential aspects of our campus around, please reach out to either Ms. Pafford or reach out to Dr. Cox or any kind of body in the central office. They can get it to myself and Ms. Carson so that way we can begin to meet and discuss arrangements and figure out meeting times and things of that nature to move forward with naming or not naming of school facilities such as gym floor. So if you have any interest in that, please reach out and let us know. We do have to vote to make the committee itself
Yes.
now, and I'll motion to do that, but that'll be kind of that. I wouldn't anticipate a big kind of time commitment. It seemed like some of the people who made some of those requests already had some names, and so we'll need to do that research as well. But I would formally like to make the motion for us to form a committee, a temporary committee, to explore naming opportunities for facilities in Prince Edward County Public Schools.
Second?
Question.
Yeah.
Did we already form the commit, I mean,
No,
vote
we
on
talked
forming?
about it, we didn't vote to do it.
We just
didn't
talked
vote.
We just talked about it.
Yeah,
Several months ago.
Yeah,
Yes, no, we
But we
never
did
did,
not
we
vote.
did not vote.
we did not vote.
we just talked about it.
Any other questions? Okay, so motion on the floor?
Motion on the floor.
Been second? Yeah. All right, all in favor? All right, we're at number 13. Hey.
Yes. So we have two reports. We have Program of Studies, Ms. Garrett, and we have, Mr. Foster as well. Or maybe we have Mr. Foster first.
Yes, I believe so. Are you?
You're good. I'll
You good?
stand here if you need anything.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, Madam Chair, school board members, and Dr. Cox. I'll be presenting with you guys the program of studies, the proposal to make some minor changes and additions. Really, we've done three major adjustments. So if you can, I think I can scroll down on this. Go to page 3. And what we, actually, we can go to page 7. No, hold on. It was 3. I think it was 3. Yep, right there. One more down. Right there, yes. Okay, so we're restructuring the program of studies from going away from naming individual pathways compared to career clusters. And so you would have a career cluster, and then you talk about the classes underneath that career cluster that aligns. It provides more clarity, and we felt that it would help our school counselors and all other stakeholders to be able to read it better. So didn't remove anything there, just reorganized it, and you can see the cross outs there on the bottom. The next one would be on page 7 and 8, where we removed specific work-based learning placements. And why we removed them is they're no longer accepted by the VDOE for credit. The Virginia Department of Education is working actually currently about possibly removing some more, but these are the ones that we know are going to be removed as of right now. And they are job shadowing, service learning, mentorship, youth registered apprenticeship. We also removed everything, and you can see right there where it's talking about college, career, and civic readiness, and we replaced it with employment, enrollment, and enlistment because they did remove the CCCRI to replace it with the 3 E's. Lastly, if you can scroll down to page 29, you can see there where we have adjusted the SCAD codes, and basically there are identification codes attached to all classes. And those classes, those previous SCAD codes were antiquated basically, and we have redone them to match what the VDOE currently has. So those numbers match now with the course codes by the Virginia Department of Education. So those are the adjustments to the programs of study. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
On the, back up on, I think it's like page 4, is it all the CTE stuff that we changed from pathways to clusters? Is that really primarily a wording difference, or, so the agriculture, food, and natural resources career cluster, are the course offerings pretty much the same as they were under the agricultural path? I guess it probably would have been agricultural pathway and animal science, vet science pathway. I mean, did like we kind of combine stuff to make one a cluster, and you could will you help me understand that just a little bit more?
Yes, ma'am. The pathways that were listed in the program of studies were arbitrarily named, and they didn't represent the name of the pathway.
Right.
So if we just basically have the career cluster, and then you put all the courses under that career cluster, you cover it all.
Okay.
So it's more accurate now, and it's for the people like the school counselors and so forth. It's going to help them out that these classes fall under this career cluster. The pathways were more specific.
And do they still be able to earn, so a child under this could still earn a agricultural, food, natural resources career credential? Are there credentials under each one of these clusters?
Yes, ma'am, you gotta take 2 sequential classes under that career cluster. And then they would get the, they can get that certification.
Okay.
So we didn't remove any classes or add any classes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking here where you have crossed out job shadowing, service learning. Are those things that you have crossed out, are they incorporated into one of the ones that you haven't crossed out? For instance, mentorship. Student is paired with a community professional who has an organization that, could mentor that student. Is that mentorship included in what is called an internship? And why is it that there is not still a need or could see a purpose for somebody being mentored?
Yes, ma'am. The Virginia Department of Education, they're currently, even now, they're going to be releasing another report this month in February about the workplace learning as it corresponds to the 3E framework. And so right now we know already, they might remove more, but they have removed mentorship. They won't be recognized. So we won't be placing students in a mentorship type site or placement. We would put them where we know they're going to receive credit. So right now, one of our big things is externships. Most of our students are out in the community performing externships because that's what the DOE is still recognizing and then get credit for it. But the mentorships, they're no longer recognized, neither service learning and job shadowing, and I think it was, I have my notes here, youth registered apprenticeship.
So whereas before those items, a child could get credit for that, and now VDOE says, sorry, no more crediting for job shadowing or service learning.
That's right, yes ma'am.
And
they might remove some more.
and they could remove some more.
Yes, but we don't have that information yet. They'll be releasing that this month.
So that was taken out strictly because VDOE said no more credit for that.
That's right.
And they are not incorporated into anything else per se?
No, the mentor, they'll give us definitions, but right now, no. No, if they're to update, like say entrepreneurship with some type of mentoring counterpart or, component in that, I guess they could reword that, but right now, no, they're not.
Is this considered an improvement in the school system?
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. I'm not sure how to answer that. I guess that'd be individual opinion. But I did give my voice. I did on a survey. I said we need to definitely keep externships. I hope they don't remove them. But I guess it's what powers to be that decide that if it's an improvement or not.
Well, we could potentially put it, if we thought that mentorship was important, we could incorporate it into a course, right? And that's something that.
But they won't get credit for it.
But it would be in a course that, it's not necessarily, the course itself, you would get credit for the course.
They wouldn't. VDOE would not let them get credit for the course.
So what I would say is, when you're looking at entrepreneurship, there is a piece of that that's going to be mentoring.
Right.
What VDOE is doing is it's trying to clarify these and have more structure to what we had before. So when you look at entrepreneurship, that will encompass mentoring.
Right.
It's just that you're not going to be able to get the credit for just mentoring. We're going to have to step it up a little bit.
That makes sense to me.
I think what they were trying to do is to kind of raise the bar, as we've seen with this new accountability across the board. They're trying to raise the bar, and if we're really looking at mentorship, what does that mean? And are we really teaching students the job and what it would be? And then that would be more entrepreneurship, but it is also still mentoring to teach them about the job. So I wouldn't see it as it's gone. It's just that prior to that, there might have been some ways that we could do it where we didn't have to
To call it mentorship.
and to hit all the parts that
but
we're gonna
for-
have to hit.
And that goes
I
back
mean-
to what she was saying, it might re-change the definition a little bit, the criteria, and then the mentorship be put into what they do keep.
It's not, it sounds like it's not really eliminating mentorship, but it's, but you're just using, you have a mentorship in entrepreneurship or something like that. But your credit is gonna be for that entrepreneurial class, but it's not necessarily mentorship per se, which makes sense to me. You're not really pushing for mentorship. I mean, you include, it should include mentorship and entrepreneurship. The class might include mentorship, but it's not crediting you for that.
Right, it's not a standalone.
Standalone.
Right.
But I'm also looking at service learning.
I'm with you.
Now, to me, that is really needed. Mainly because it allows the students to get out and get some social learning skills or be engaged in some social learning skills. Why did they take that out? Why did they not see the need for that anymore?
I can only make conjectures, I'm not sure.
You're not a DOE specialist?
I'm not sure, I can only make conjectures.
I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
We're going backwards almost. Everything is not good for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did take away ROTC as well.
No, they didn't take away JRTC. No, sir.
But we don't offer that.
But we don't own that, right, currently.
But if schools that have it, they still get credit for it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You find out why they changed it, let us know. I just want to know. Okay. We're gonna move on to DSBA honor roll first reading.
I can take this one. Sure. So this is a program that's really been around for a long time. It's actually a very good program. It's an opportunity in the community or in the school division to honor businesses, perhaps family-run businesses that play a key role in supporting various things that you do in a school division. You can nominate up to 3, and I believe we have until March the 31st, so we would have the next board meeting to do that. And what they typically do is they publish an honor roll, and it goes, I think it goes in their state newsletter. That's what it's done in the past. And so I think that's a real nice opportunity to do that. So I think that's what they would ask a board to do, probably, to nominate 3.
And you've provided us a list of people who currently are business partners with us?
And that would be the next thing that I would do, yes. Because we're gonna have more than 3. I mean, you have some, so I will get that to you prior to the next board meeting, if that works.
But this,
This has some ones on here.
It has a list on
really?
here.
I'm sorry.
That's right. There's some the current business partners.
I read right past it, my apologies.
Okay, sir. So those are current ones.
Right,
And if we know of others, we can add them to the list or let you know.
yes,
But we need to decide on 3.
yes you do.
So we'll come back at the next meeting. Do we get our 3 to you beforehand in case we have some issues?
Yes.
So do we just let you know who we want?
Yeah.
You take a,
No, I mean, not now, but you could just send them an email.
send Dr. Cox an email?
Dr. Cox.
And I will call them and take it from there.
Okay.
Okay.
but I guess, shouldn't we know what, I mean, we have a list.
Yeah.
How do we know what they contributed to the school? Is there, does,
I tell you what we can do, we can, define that for you and send it out.
okay, that's what I'd like.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll try to get that out maybe early next week. Okay.
All right, the next one is the calendar for the 25-26.
Ms. Garrett, welcome back.
Thank you. Madam Chair, members of the school board, Dr. Cox, I am here to present to you the first draft of the calendars that the calendar committee came up with. We met 2 times, I believe. Surveys went out to the public, to the staff. Ideas were brought back, and then we created 2 calendars for you to look at. So I just kind of want to talk to you about these 2 calendars and kind of the difference between them, and just kind of let you know where we are with days. Because we are on a 4x4 for the high school, we really need to have, it's 180 days for the whole school year, but we need to have 90 done for the first semester prior to our break in winter, and we need to have 90 for the second semester. So that's really important when we're looking at the calendar. The first semester, there's a little room where you could start earlier, and there's some time in there that we can kind of play around with. The second semester is really solid to 90 days if we want to end where we normally end, which is right around Memorial Day, and come back. When we come back, you're looking at right at 90 days. So with the 2 calendars, they're both give you different start dates. So option 1, you start on Tuesday, August 5th, which is a strong, there was a strong opinion that we don't need to start on a Monday. I will say that came out very loud, that they do not want to start on a Monday. End of the first semester for that would be December 18th. Fall break, we heard very clearly, and we understood this last year, that does not need to fall during the fall, the book festival, the Virginia Children's Book Festival. So both options stay away from that fall break. And then the election day, there was conversation if we were going to do an early dismissal or half day. So for this calendar, it does have that in there. The other conversation was that half day work days and professional development days, may not have served as well as a full day, and so there was a lot of conversation about a full day of either a work day or a professional day falling after those parent-teacher conferences. Because you do know the staff is here till late those evenings, and then when they come in, not that they're not going to be working on a work day or professional development day, but that kind of just gives them time to reset before they have to be back with students. So the calendar does consider that as well. So for option 1, you're looking at exactly 90 days for the first semester with no banked days in, and 90 days for the second semester, ending the exact same time. Option 2, there are only 2 extra days, but there are 2 extra days in option 2. Those can be considered bank days. So this is where, when we talk about bank days, where you can add a bank day. There's no room for it in second semester. Technically, for high school, it's not really going to help them when it's in the first semester because you have to have that full course load in the second semester. So that's the concern with bank days, in that if we save them in the first semester, it doesn't really help your high school for the second. Now, if we have rain delays in the first semester, hurricanes, you're okay, but it's not as though we can take those 2 days and put them on the second semester for high school. Does work that way for elementary and middle, but for high school, they have to have the 90 days or the 144 clock hours for the course. So that just depends on how that works out. We are above the clock hours, so that's a consideration we could look at. So that just tells you where the bank days were. There was some concern with the committee about the bank days, as if we don't use them, what would we do? Would we be working 2 extra days? So that there was conversation about that. But that is where we added the 2 days because we did talk about bank days previously.
And that's an option 2.
That's an option 2. So it's 92 days for the first semester, 2 bank days built in, 90 days for the second semester. We're starting Monday, August 4th. So if we don't have those 2 days, we can push that start date back to a Tuesday or a Wednesday. We do have the 3rd week of October is fall break for this particular calendar. there's options. You can combine these calendars and we can keep that earlier fall break. Those are easy changes. Again, the work days are at the end of each semester as requested by the teachers, and a full professional day after parent-teacher conferences. So those are the same. So really the main differences are going to be whether we want those bank days and then where your fall break falls. And then election day, whether we just come a full day or we have a half day. So those are the main differences between the two. So right now this is just for you all to look at, and then if you want me to bring any other information back, you just let me know. Yes.
Historically, I'm trying to think, just since we've lived here, how many days do we miss in the fall due to hurricanes and, because it's usually a hurricane?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I wonder.
I
That
can
would be interesting to know.
try and find out.
Just because my feeling is the vast majority of the days missed are second semester. And if banking days first semester is not gonna help that situation, I don't know that that's worth it. But if we historically knew that, yes, we on average lose one day every first semester historically over the last 5 years due to hurricanes, then we, definitely think about it.
I can get that information.
How many more banked hours second semester do we have over and above the mandated amount by VDOE?
So I don't have the banked hours here because in order to do that, I have to go by the courses, like which ones are verified credit courses at the high school, and then see what the schedule is. I can bring that back to you to tell you how many we have now, currently this year. So I just don't know that number off the top of my head, but I have it in a spreadsheet.
So the only way to really bank hours second semester would be to make the date a little bit longer, 5 minutes. Start 5 minutes earlier, end 5 minutes later. That would bank time, correct?
That would bank time, or looking at our master schedule and having conversations with, is there a way to look at the schedule we already have to make
Yes.
sure that the instructional time is being used effectively?
Yes.
Are we starting our day at 8? Or are we starting our day at like 8:10?
Yes,
Those things are
okay.
conversations we can have. That's another
And
way
that would
you
not
can
have
do it.
to, then we wouldn't have to really mess with the calendar.
No, those are conversations we can have within schools.
Okay.
I have a question. Graduation is the 16th.
It's the 17th this year.
So, yeah, we have two
That's the same
options on
question
that
I was
as
gonna
well.
have.
Huh?
That's the same question I was gonna have as far as regarding graduation. Why is graduation 5 days? Our students are coming back, our seniors are coming back. Hopefully they're coming back a whole nother week at school. before
No, they
last
don't
day.
come
They don't come back.
Not when they
Once they
graduate.
graduate, they don't
Graduate,
come back.
But,
I
okay.
just
Accounted for or
wondered, I
absent?
was just wondering why it would seem
I
so
mean, the
early.
day-
They
the days
graduate
that
this
they're
year,
not
the
there,
6th,
they don't come
17th.
back.
That's what I'm saying.
But are we missing funding by them not coming to school?
16th.
I don't think that's a huge impact. I can look at that as well. Now that's an option for you all to decide when you would want graduation. It falls there because I think having it on the weekend was a preference of,
Yeah.
I
And the
think,
next weekend is Memorial Day.
and that's the concern.
That's the biggie,
Yeah.
is that the next weekend is Memorial Day and people go out of town.
I just thought it was mighty early, that's why.
Was it 16th or something last
This year is the 17th.
Yeah, so it's
That's just
been
how-
hovering around there for the last.
That's your birthday?
17th is my birthday.
Happy birthday. Congratulations.
Graduation.
So those are things you may want to consider. You can move it if you don't want it on a weekend. It could be closer, and it could be on a Thursday or Friday, but I do think
I think
having it on the
Saturday
weekend has
is the day
been
been
a
Because if
positive.
you have it on a weekday, you'd need to do it in the evening because people work.
Right.
And it's harder for family members to get here that are celebrating from out of town, so.
Or they can just have it. Yeah. Okay.
So, what I will say is I will bring this back for you all to vote on. If I will bring that information prior to that, and then if there's any other changes or things that you would like me to look up, just let me know. And I will just say, when we did the survey, the big discussion was just making sure Fall break was definitely 62% of people preferred fall break over like extending a Thanksgiving break. So that was asked, but it was, I think it was 62%. And then making sure that we did not hit the Virginia Book Festival was probably at like a 70% as well.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
we'll be back.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
go ahead.
I know I'll be dating myself, but do we recognize American Education Week? Is that still one of the things that we recognize now?
Well, they do like Teacher Appreciation Week is what they do within the schools.
During
During the
that,
school
which
year.
has replaced what we used to call American Education Week?
I'm not sure, because I'm not sure when that was.
It was in
Is it in the spring? Oh, in October, then no, because Teacher Appreciation is in the spring.
Is in the spring?
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering, we used to recognize that and kids did all kinds of things for American education.
I'm not sure.
And we used to celebrate Washington and Lincoln's birthdays on the actual birthday.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just, wonder if other ways we can get students more involved.
Any other questions? Okay, all right, thank you.
Corruption is
Thank you, Ms. Jerry, appreciate it. Check the dates on you said both dates on the calendar, 16th, it's on a Saturday on both of those, so maybe, I mean, cool, it's good. I just thought 16th was early, anyway, moving on. All right, thank you for your work there. Okay, we're on 14.
So, Mosley was not able to be here in person tonight, but they always provide us a report, and if y'all deal with it, I can just kind of go through it real quick.
Yeah.
We do meet with them twice a month, and also with English. I think they're very good meetings and very well organized, and we get a lot out of it. So the January 2025 update, existing buildings, and this is about our elementary school construction. Existing buildings removed and building pad for foundation level. Inspections conducted for first view reports for the building pad. They've been found accessible. They said a full report was sent to the engineers, county, and Mr. Good. Permit status, they have a demolition permit, electrical permit, building permit, VSMP, fee paid. Asbestos demolition permits from the state are forthcoming. All trade permits except sprinklers have been received. They're waiting on HVAC and plumbing. They've done a very good job, I think, of coordinating with Ms. Vance, and I think she would say that on interior signage and initial playground needs. And I know that after the meeting that we had yesterday, they were gonna do a walkthrough for some things, I think, in back of the school about access and different things like that. Shop drawings are in, and the project team is reviewing all submittals that are coming from English. And I think everybody seems to work pretty well together in the meetings that I've been on. I think it's moving forward in a very good way. So I'll be happy to speak for them just based on the meeting. So.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Still for the in-service training. Ms. Woodson,
Good evening.
good evening.
I am Ms. Woodson. I'm the Director of Special Education, and I'm just here to let you all know about some upcoming in-service training that we will be having for staff, and also let you know about a workshop that will be available for the community. So on February 7th, we will be having Handle with Care recertification training for our currently trained staff. The focus of the training is for safely de-escalating situations and, when necessary, implementing physical interventions in the least restrictive and most effective manner. The goal is to minimize the harm to both individuals and those around them. On February 21st, we will have Mr. Patrick Adriano from Sands Anderson Law Firm. He will be here to do a division-wide PD on the legal aspects of IEP implementation and the potential consequences of non-compliance. Okay? And then the workshop that we have coming up is in partnership with PECPS. We will be holding a training session on Medicaid waivers. The workshop will take place on February 20th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Longwood Visual Arts Center. And the flyer is posted on our website, and childcare will be provided for families if they so choose to come. Okay? Thank you.
Questions for me?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, going on to Department C, Mr. Good. Code of conduct.
Good evening, Madam Chair, school board members. This is the first time in, 30-plus years that I've been working with the Code of Conduct that we really don't have any updates. You usually listen to things either from teachers or administrators about we missed this or we didn't cover this, but there aren't any this time. One thing that we did learn, we had a discipline hearing, and we had to call to a translator, and the translator had to translate to the student, and Mr. Farley and Ms. Kimbrough had to, I think, say about 3 or 4 words and pause, and the translator would say something and somebody else would say something. So it was very interesting. But one thing we will do this year is to make sure we have copies in Spanish for our students.
Yes.
They still might need
What was that again?
have copies of our Code of Conduct book
in
in Spanish. We've talked about it, but after the experience last week, I think it's a good idea to have. There's anything the board thinks we need to add or to that. One of the things that will help us, we didn't know which direction that you all gonna go with the cell phone policy, but when I read everything in the governor's order, we had already covered that. The only thing is being consistent, administrators and teachers with enforcing the policy. Yes, sir.
And when the Code of Conduct books were, they actually used to carry the Code of Conduct books around at one time, but now they're on devices, right? Or how?
No.
And they used to have, they would have to
book.
sign off on them.
Yeah, that was, each school had their own Code of Conduct book. The middle school and high school, their Code of Conduct book included a pass, passes in there. So if they left a teacher's classroom, then the teacher would have to sign, saying where the student was going. And that was very expensive. So then we sat down and said, look, then if you left from the elementary school to the middle school, it was a whole different Code of Conduct book. You left from the middle school to the high school, it was a whole different Code of Conduct book. So we put our heads together and said, look, let's just have one Code of Conduct, division-wide, and we'll put it at different levels for elementary, middle school, and high school, and it's been working great, so.
But they did use it to track the students, and they like it to tell, they had to sign off on it. Do we have a mechanism for that?
Do you want me to truth about them signing and tracking on it? It was a good thought, but sometimes this would just go, as long as they had their Code of Conduct in their hand, they just, okay, you do it, and it could have been theirs or somebody else's. And then once they use up all their passes, they could have used them up maybe the first semester, Yeah, so.
I think the question I had, does each student sign off that they've received a copy?
Yeah, each when they go to their homeroom,
Right.
they're required to sign off that they received, and then it goes home to the parents, that their child has received Code of Conduct. And it's supposed to cover it in the first 5 days of school to make sure everybody knows what they're going to do.
And there's a copy of it online too.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
But of course, people tell you I didn't get one, I didn't see it, I didn't read it, all that good stuff. That's what two students tell me. Said, Mr. Good, we don't read that thing.
But in the Code of Conduct, though, is there a limit on how much? I was just have a question about that. Is that do they have a limit on how many bathroom visits and things like that?
No, none of that's covered in the Code of Conduct. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Good, you were saying that the issue, to some degree, with the Code of Conduct and cell phones, it's that the policy that is stated is not being followed.
No, it's not because, like certain parts of our Code of Conduct, but if you go to this classroom, it's put it over here, don't touch it, whatever. You might go to another classroom and the teacher or whomever might not be as strict on the thing, so. But all you do is just walk through, you will see, you know, who's enforcing and who's not.
How can we remedy that?
I just get the staff to realize it's a whole lot better when everybody's working together and everybody's saying the same thing and putting the same information out that cell phones need to be put up.
Because it seems like it puts stress on the, if it's not being enforced, it seems like it's putting, it leaves room for, I guess, for some folks being punished and then others not. And the punishment may be unjust for some, you know, it actually leaves room for discrimination. You know, for some folks to be, and it depends on who, and it could be anybody, that is not necessary, but different people may be, but people may be picked for it to be enforced on, and then others not. It sounds like it's still an administrative issue that needs to be, I don't know, but it does leave room for certain folks to be picked and then others not.
Well, you know, the administrators, they're on it, you know, put your cell phone up, take the earbuds out there. But you know, once they go in the classroom, you know, that's a whole different thing.
But it really does, it still means the administrator has to make sure that all the classrooms are doing the same thing. That's what I would think. That it comes down to, you know, that, you know, I think that's really, you know, it's a building situation. Where everybody has to be
that's right,
held to the same standard. And I mean, if the administrator's saying that one teacher's not doing it, then why is that teacher not doing it? And because this is what we expect. I may be overstepping with that, but that's what I would think is that that all the administrators should hold all the teachers accountable for what they're doing, you know, and when they see one that's not doing it, then that needs to be fixed.
I'm pretty sure they address it, but again, as soon as they leave, it might be back the same. It's just like with instruction. You put out the lesson plans and this is what we need to follow. Everybody's got it, yes. As soon as that door is closed, you're not 100% certain exactly what's going on, and you really don't find out until you get your SOL results. And then you figure out what in the world happened when I gave the same information to everybody. We had professional development and covered the same thing with everybody, and everybody said that they had it. But then when those scores come back, somebody didn't get it. And the teachers are aware of the cell phone policy. They know they're supposed to be cut off and out of sight. You would probably have to ask the individual teachers why they feel necessary not to enforce it. Because again, if everybody's doing the same thing, it's smooth sailing.
Thank you, Mr. Goodman. We're moving on to D, academic discussion, preliminary SOL.
Well, good afternoon again, Madam Chair, school board members, and Dr. Cox. So I'll be going over the end of course preliminary SOL results. And on the board here, the far left column, you see the year. I did 3 years, so you can look back and see our previous scores. And the good news, as you can see for fall of 2024, out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, looks like 8 different subjects there. We have scored really the best than we have out of 6 out of the 8 students for the fall. So it looks like we're making some strides. I'd like to point out, you know, the Algebra 2 scores, the Algebra 1 scores, and the biology, even though it's at 54.55, it is 10 points higher than what it was prior. So they are making some progress there. Now, at the bottom, you see the fall index score. And so what I did there is I took the numbers and put it into the new accountability framework so you guys can get an idea of what that looks like. Above the fall index, that's just the number of kids that took it, the number of kids that passed. It's just the average. But when you put it into the fall index score, you can see that they got, for math, 13.93 points out of possible 15. And for biology, that would equate also to 9.02 points out of 10. So they got most of their points. Now, lastly, the index scores. What you need to think about is a scale of 0 to 100, and every point off that index score that is significant. So we want to make sure we get as many points as we possibly can for the index score.
Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, just kind of like as a comparison, if we had put in, and ballparking, okay, put in fall of 2023 into that index value, we would have been significantly better this year for the fall than we were last year, except for maybe not reading, but for geometry, the math ones. Our index score this year would be better than what it was last year because our numbers are better.
That's
Is
right.
that correct? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And they don't count in the histories.
No. So
I know
there's
this is a dumb question, but why do we have to give history exams if they're not counting?
well, for the state, it's still a part of their accreditation system,
it's
but for the
verified.
federal,
And they are considered verified credits too if they pass them. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay.
But for the federal, they don't really monitor the history, so there's no index value there for them.
Okay.
Any questions?
It's very good.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On its main. School board code of conduct, first reading, it's there. We
No
did
changes
not,
from last year.
same thing from last year. And read over, this is the first reading, so next month, it will come to you as an action item. We had a lot of discussion about this last year. So, if there's something you wanna work at, bring those ideas to the next one.
But we
Next month.
could potentially vote on it next month.
We have,
There's no changes.
There's no,
Okay.
as far as I have right now, there are no changes. It's the first time the rest of the board is seeing it, so I don't know if anybody has any changes. Bring your changes with you and your reasoning why. Okay. Also, next month, we'll put in the norms and protocols that we need to also read and vote on and sign for, okay?
Okay.
And we've already talked about the middle school gym thing, so we're gonna move on to 15 calendar.
And if I could just highlight some things for that, if that's good.
Yes,
You have February the 11th, early dismissal for students, February the 11th, interns distributed, parent-teacher conferences. The February the 11th date, I did want to bring to your attention. I've worked with the county administrator, Doug Stanley, on that, and we are actually not going to have the meeting on the 11th. What we're going to do instead is to move everything forward to the 27th. So that'll be actually when I believe I'll make my presentation to the Board of Supervisors. And the nice thing about that timing is that we have a budget work session on February the 19th. That'll give us the 19th and bring things to you. We're very hopeful that, I think that night we have health insurance. We have the group that does that. I think they're coming to talk to y'all. We hope that there's some more movement in the budget on the state level. We can kind of look at a little bit. So we do think that has some advantages to it. So I did work with Mr. Stanley today, and we did that. February the 17th, we had the inclement weather makeup day, one of the days that we missed. We actually did put something out yesterday, just as a reminder. I know we've said that publicly a few times, and we'll do another reminder about that as well. February the 19th, as I just remembered, we have, as I just said, we have budget work session. 21st is a professional development for staff. 27th, joint finance committee. And we'll just take it up to the 1st of March. And March 5th, we have our next school board meeting with closed session beginning at 4:30. Okay. And then I think we have correspondence after that. I think that's for people's review. We have superintendent's report. I did want to follow up because one of the things the board had asked me to do after the last meeting, when we talked about the cell phone policy, and I probably actually should have said this when Mr. Good was in here, I apologize. But to follow up with a teacher committee, and so we did put a teacher committee together at the high school, mainly their department chairs, and I think the idea was, as we all says, that we're consistent. And so I really do believe they've come up with a consistent policy. And I'll be sending you something early next week that we're going to send out that just kind of reiterates that a little bit. But that's kind of what y'all had asked me to do. So I think we had 7 or 8 people in there and department chairs. I thought it was a very, very good meeting. And I think they do have a consistent approach to it that they're going to be able to do. And that seemed to be the thing that I think everybody was very interested in. I wrote weather station on here. It's fine. No, it's fine. So we have a weather station. It's funny what you learn after you've been here for a while. I did not know that, but I do now. We have a weather station at the middle school, and the software had become outdated. So Mr. Crabtree had arranged with our vendor. So the real interesting thing is this is vendor driven. Okay. And they were supposed to come in December and they canceled. They are going to be here on February the 14th. I've had a few inquiries from the public. I think one I'm meeting with later this week, which is fine. I'd always rather do that than over the phone. But Mr. Crabtree, and I have great confidence in him telling me what he's told me, that will be taken care of on the 14th. So I just threw that in because I heard about it. So, and I believe that's all I have. Yes.
Well, I heard about it too. I saw it on TV.
When
showing
it's
up.
blank.
Farm.
Yes, I know. I've had a constituent call me back in the fall about it.
So, you were gonna come along. Correspondence?
Nothing.
You've got a couple of letters,
I have the, let's see, budget schedule. Yeah, there, mainly when we accept resignations and we accept retirements and things like that, we send out a letter acknowledging that. I think that's what
that's
most
most
of
of
it is.
them. Okay. All right. We got the superintendent's report, or
That's just,
you've done, okay. Board member comments? Yes.
Okay, y'all, strap in. I've got quite a few, but I'll try to be brief. Firstly, excuse me, happy National School Counselor Week on top of all the other happies. So thank you to all of our school counselors at all 3 school divisions. Thank you to those who have stepped in kind of part-time and kind of hybrid capacities. Thank you to Fulcrum. And special shout out to Miss Carter Chafin and Miss Wright at the elementary school where my baby attends. That she does love y'all a lot. So we appreciate y'all and all that you all do for us. Happy School Counselor Week. Senate Bill 1307 recently passed. That's a sales tax bill. So it's come up again. It's that time of year. And it's just folks in the public often inquire about ways to support kind of school funding mechanisms. This would be a great way to support. So call or write letters to our Virginia General Assembly members and plead with them to approve and pass this bill on the House side. So hopefully it can go into law this year. It increases no tax. It just puts the decision in the hand of the locality as opposed to with the state. It will give us the permission to do what 11 counties and districts in Virginia can already do, which is choose to create a petition to potentially put a referendum on the ballot to potentially increase a levy, a tax to go towards school funding. So it by itself would do nothing except give the choice back to the taxpayers who are here locally. So please, if you're looking for ways to assist, I'll try to give an update when the House bill companion to that Senate Bill 1307 it comes out. Next, this space in this room. So last month when we met and we chatted about just kind of location and times of the meetings, it just I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me that we would move the meeting only when we thought there was enough students to recognize. Maybe that wasn't the whole entire point, but I just would like to formally request that we change the meeting location. I'm against precedent for the sake of precedent. When I was on the board back in 2018, I brought up the idea of recording our meetings, streaming our meetings live, and I was met with intense opposition. And now, post-COVID, recording the meetings is as normal as going into closed session. And the world didn't burn down. So I would love it if we would consider a new location that would be more accessible, and not just to recognize students, but to encourage more participation, because we don't know how many people this is serving as a barrier for the participation until we move it, right? And it could be the case we have the same amount, but I don't want to just stay in this room just because it's comfortable for the board members, and we are very comfortable in here, because that is not comfortable to my left. And I've got to get a procedure done, not being selfish here, but this is not the most ADA accessible room either for folks who have physical impairments. And so I'd love to move to a space that it's just a bit more accessible all year round. And that way we never have to think about, oh, we've got 20 kids to recognize this month, like on a day like today, where it's just bottlenecked right at the door.
And they can't even get in.
And they can't get in, right? And if they want to leave, it's awkward getting the past folks. Let's just move to a space where we never have to think about it again. And we're always being inclusive. And then when constituents say, like, y'all aren't inclusive, like, wait a minute, we moved for y'all, right? We changed the time, we were being accommodating, not to ourselves, but to the public. I would love for us to formally consider changing the meeting location. We can still do budgetary meetings and things like that here. I do love the space. However, it sends a message, especially when you look at it on the camera and how tiny this room is. Next, happy Black History Month, of course, February. So I just want to take just a very quick moment and honor some individuals in our community, for the most part posthumously, but I won't be able to get into all their accolades, but this will give some people some notes to go back to and do some searches on for themselves, who have made a tremendous impact in our community and in our school district. And these are not the folks who already kind of have monuments built to them, but folks who easily could in the future. And some of these names are as follows: Mrs. Laverne Purval, Mr. Warren Ricky Brown, Mr. Clarence Penn, Grace Moton, Mr. Thomas Mayfield, Dr. N.P. Miller, who I believe name is over there on the school board list to my left, Nurse Nellie Coles, Reverend Goodwin Douglas, Reverend A.I. Dunlap, Martha E. Forrester, Ernestine Herndon, Edwilda Allen Isaac, Edna Allen Bledsoe Dean, Colonel Martha Stokes Cleveland, Mrs. Geraldine Reed, Mrs. Adelaide Griffin, Flossie White Hudson. I would like to just quickly name the 5 victims of the accident in March of 1951 who led to a lot of the history that we talk about here today: Hetty Dungy, Christine Hendricks, Dodson Hendricks, Naomi Hendricks, and Winfield Page. And last but certainly not least, 5 giants who have gone in the past 5 months. Miss Cynthia Johnson, Miss Rita Odom Mosley, Mrs. Joy Cabrera Speaks, the Honorable Henry L. Marsh III, and Reverend J. Samuel Williams, Jr. If you do not know who those folks are, you should. They are absolutely instrumental to Prince Edward County history, and they are and will be very dearly missed. So I wanted to just take a moment for those folks to mention those. So, and I'll just take a brief 5-second moment of silence for those folks, just because I need it, but also just to honor them in their accomplishment. Okay, thank you. Last but not least, and since I'm talking about history, I've had this idea for a while, but I wanted to bring it to the board. I spoke with Elzora a bit about it. And so we have approved the Bridge Builder course, which currently is on the curriculum at the school. I would love it if we could open that up to more students. And so the museum has drafted an MOU, and we'll present it, and we'll certainly y'all get eyes on it beforehand. But I want to accomplish a couple things with this. Really under the premise of, those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. And in a place like Prince Edward County, we absolutely cannot afford to repeat that. And people who misinterpret and misconstrue that history provide as much danger to me as not knowing the history at all. So what I would recommend is that at the 4th grade Virginia Studies level, 7th grade U.S. History level, and 11th grade VA U.S. History levels, with corresponding SOLs that talk about this history, we have annual visits to the museum that we can scaffold according to the level appropriate to that grade. I included an optional 8th grade civics level visit, which we can scaffold and customize specifically to kind of that coursework. Additionally, would love to open up a second section of the Bridge Builder Prince Edward County History course, which we currently do for our bridge builders, and the instructor would still be staff at the Milton Museum and along with university, but we would need a teacher of record for here at Prince Edward. So it would operate in a very similar way. It'd be opening up a separate section. Curriculum's already been approved by the board, is already in the course of study. It would just be kind of upon request, upon demand, we could open up that section. We would voluntarily be willing to do that. And then the last thing I would love to do is to figure out something that we can do in April to commemorate Barbara John's Day. I think that we talk about Barbara, of course the auditorium was named after Barbara, her statue's going up in Statuary Hall in Washington, D.C. this year, and I just don't want the rest of the world to be recognizing this figure. We're not doing anything here locally, and I'll keep it very broad in the form of an MOU that would be kind of subject to the school leaders and then staff at the museum, regardless of who those people are. But we'll love to figure out a way, whether that's a service day, whether that's a program at each of the schools, whether that's calling in individuals who are parts of this history, whether we do a book club and it culminates in April. I don't know what that is, but I would love for us to do something here locally with our students to recognize this. This is not a unique idea. In fact, the city of Lynchburg has a very similar relationship with their local museum organizations where they specifically target age groups and grade levels and standards of learning to coordinate with their local museum system. So this wouldn't be anything that is completely outlandish, and we would certainly be very hospitable to working with the board, to working with staff at all the schools to make sure we can do this in a way that is not cumbersome, but adds to the benefit of all of their subject matter and disciplinary studies. There's also potential for this to be interdisciplinary. Years ago, Ms. Deborah Rush, who was a teacher at the high school, she's since retired, but she wrote a one-act play, B. Rose, which is a musical that the drama students did, so you can bring it in theater. There are plenty of literature opportunities. We can kind of be interdisciplinary with regards to kind of language arts and English. Science, right? We can talk about the Hidden Figures. Dorothy Vaughn, who was one of those Hidden Figures, was a teacher at Milton High School, so certainly there's a connection there. So this is really an opportunity for all students, and we might not see the history reflected with regards to the accreditation standards federally in all aspects, and that could change. But I think it's important for us to recognize that local history here and to talk about it and make sure all of our students know about it, because I would hate for them to get to DC and be like, who is Barbara Johns? Right? Who is this history? Why is this important? Prince Edward County? What? I don't really understand that. And we have the capacity here to do it, so why not do it? I know it's different for us, but we would love to engage in that partnership with us to continue teaching this history. And I promise that's all.
Any questions? Those are all great ideas. They really are. I don't know why we haven't thought of something before now, but they're all great ideas. It's just if we need to do something.
Yeah.
Stop saying that they're great ideas. We need to make something happen. I'm willing to help with you with that.
And so am I.
Appreciate it.
So
Please.
let me know if there's something I can do.
Write your names down.
Yeah. I just changed it. No. But thank you for sharing those with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm looking at D, and I wanted to just say, the elementary school got their, what's the thing on the outside? The shelf, I can't think of it. Signage up, and say that they are fully accredited.
Yes.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad that they got something. No, but I saw that when I turned on. Oh, good. That's great. That's great. I'm trying. So I think you get some folks to help you. Might be surprised at who might turn up and say, "What can I do?"
Absolutely.
All right. We're at 16, and we said we were going to go back into closed session for
about
a few
5
minutes.
minutes.
We promise it won't be long.
Yes.
Okay.
I move to go back into closed session.
Second.
And second, all in favor? Okay.
That's what I love about living in a small town, you know, Mr. Reed, that's how I get his truck.
Ready? Yes, ma'am. You ready for me to go back into the roll call vote?
Yes.
Again, I'm doing a roll call vote that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such business matters were identified in the motion convening the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered during closed session. Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Stiff?
Yes.
Dr. Ariady?
Yes.
Ms. Kimbrough?
Yes.
Ms. Carson?
Yes.
Dr. Corbett?
Yes.
Mr. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
All right. First motion?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
As presented.
Second. All in favor?
Okay.
Student motion, the recommendation about, for the students? Personnel agenda.
I make the motion to accept.
Personnel.
Second.
Mr. Farley seconds it. All right, all in favor? Thank you.
And one more. I move that we accept our superintendent's recommendation for employees A and B.
Second.
I did it right.
Yeah, that's right. All right, he seconded. All in favor? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, before you adjourn, just a reminder, VSBA, we will be there. It's at Rustburg Middle School. The spring forum, Mr. Hackett came last year.
That's good.
Yeah, they had, the STIP came last year.
But we were in Appomattox.
Yeah, we were in Appomattox.
Oh, it's the same thing.
This is her, you turn it,
That's good.
sheet.
Well,
The new sheet,
the new sheet. The new sheet.
Okay, I'll send you an email reminder, it's gonna be good, we're gonna look at education through career tech. And so that, like last year, they were talking about things they were doing at their schools, this time they're supposed to bring more, the focus is on career and tech, and how we're preparing students for a job, when they leave. All right,
Motion to adjourn.
thank you. And second, all in favor? And thank you all for this long day, I really appreciate it. And all that you say.
Could we do it?